Before you can start using this tool, the Online for Business or Touch administrators need to set up the access rights. The first time you open this tool, you have not yet assigned authorizations to users, you will get the screen. When you select OK, you will open the configuration screen where you can set up the user's rights to access basic, medical, and/or payroll data, and their rights to see the companies linked to the policies the administrator has access to if you have more than one company. On this screen, you can manage your employees' access as well as your company structure. The name of the companies displayed here and elsewhere in the tool are those of the first policyholders of the specific policy. If the user you're looking for is not in the list, you can add him via Business Dashboard or by signing a power of attorney in Touch. Here you also see the profile which the users are granted, basic details, basic plus injury data, and basic plus injury plus HR data, and the lowest level of the access control, company name or sub-level if applicable. If a user has access to more than one company or sub-level, you see multiple bodies. If a user doesn't have access to a policy or sub-levels, you will see a dash in the access column. When you select Manage the structure, you go to the next screen, Change your company structure, where you edit or add a structure of your company policies. On this screen, you see again the name of the company, the policy number, and whether it has a lower level underlying structure. When you do this for the first time, the values of the underlying structure will be started as null. When you select the arrow on the row of the branch, you open a new screen where it shows the status, risk-bearing or not risk-bearing of the policy, and a message that there are no sub-level yet. When you select the green plus button New, a new slide in is open. Here you can create a new sub-level 1. You need to choose whether this sub-level 1 should be active or non-active. Means that you can use the sub-level 1 to create new decoration to it. You can choose inactive if you want to set this up but will start using it later. In this way, you will be also to grant access to a non-active sub-level without users being able to start submitting new decorations to it. These options can be appropriate when you have a reorganization in your company and want to proactively set up things. When you create a new sub-level 1, the old one can be set to non-active. In the next steps of the slide in the screen, you need to fill in the name of the sub-level 1 and optionally the bank account number, always Belgian IBAN number, and the address. When you enter the bank account number for this sub-level 1, it means that the user is not able to change it when submitting a new decoration. When you fill in the address, this address will be pre-filled in the decoration. When you create the sub-level 1, you see depending on active or non-active status. If there is sub-level 2 for this sub-level 1 and whatever or not, you can submit decoration at this sub-level 1. When you click on the arrow next to the sub-level 1, a new screen is open where you can edit, delete, or add a new sub-level 2. You can also see here the details of sub-level 1 which you have created. Attention! You can make any distinguishment in authorization on sub-level 2 only on sub-level 1. When you click New, a slide in is open to create a sub-level 2. Here you only need to fill in the name of the sub-level 2 and choose whether or not you want to put this sub-level to active or non-active. After saving the sub-level 2, you'll see this new created sub-level 2 in your overview of that sub-level 1. Attention! You can only delete a sub-level 1 and or 2 when it's not linked to a claim file. In this case, you first need to change the sub-level 1 and 2 or via the summary screen before you can delete the sub-level 1 and or 2. Only users you have access to these two via Business Dashboard, Online for Business, Insurance, Persons Declare and Accident or Touch are listed in the overview of Managing Configuration. What kind of access and which policy a sub-level 1 a user has access to can be managed by clicking on the arrow next to the specific user. Attention! A user can start using this tool before he is granted access to a specific policy or sub-level 1 and he has been given an access profile. On this screen you can select which kind of data the user will have access to: basic details plus injury or basic details plus injury space. Underneath you find an overview of companies and risk-bearing and non-risk-bearing if you have those policy, as well as to which policy or sub-levels the user has access. Here you have a few options of this screen depending on how many policies you have, more or less than 5, and or if you have created sub-level for at least one policy. If you don't make use of sub-levels, you can give access to a policy by using the sliders on the right. If you have more than 5 policies, you have the options to give access to all policies at once by using the slider in the middle of the screen. Attention! By default, we only show risk-bearing policy. If you click also show only risk-bearing policy, you will also be able to grant access of this policy if you have those. If you created a sub-level for at least one of your policy, you can choose to which sub-level 1 a user has access by clicking on the Edit button. If you have more than 5 policies, you have the options to give full access to all policy and sub-levels at once by using the slider in the middle of the screen. If you have policy without sub-levels, or you have to grant access to these policy or sub-levels via the Edit button.